right, hello and welcome to another Expert Insight interview. My name is John Golden from Sales Pop, online sales magazine, and Pipeliner CRM, joining you as usual from actually a rainy San Diego. And today I'm delighted to be joined all the way from beautiful Paris, France by Valerie Sandjivy. How are you doing, Valerie?
I'm doing good, John. I'm doing good. Thank you for having me in the show.
No, absolutely, absolutely. And Valerie is an adaptive leadership mentor and business coach with over 20 years corporate experience. As the founder of VS Consulting, she helps executive C-suite leaders, entrepreneurs lead with greater emotional intelligence, adaptability, and innovation. And that's what we're going to talk about today. And it's just interesting, like you hold all of these different, you have a master's degree and you have all these different certifications in coaching, including transactional analysis, neurosciences, behavioral strategies, shamanism, and healing modalities. So quite the eclectic mix. And we're going to talk about the four pillars of leadership as the foundation of human leadership. So maybe starting off, Valerie, just tell me a little bit about your journey to how you came to this model and this approach in the first place. Because as I said, you're drawing on a lot of different influences.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm an engineer as well. So
You're
I
a
don't
what,
know if
sorry?
I'm an engineer. I'm a mechanical engineer. So
Oh,
I started doing that. So and I have a master degree, as you said, in business school.
yeah.
So my career is like sometimes I feel that I didn't choose my career. It's like it was a path,
Mhm.
and I followed the path, like wherever life took me. So I started, to work in different corporate settings. And the common thread in my corporate settings is like I've been doing management and leadership all the time, 17 years of that. And the common thread was always to bring innovation, to start new things, to step foot in new countries. Actually, I was the head, the business unit head in Detroit for 7 years.
Right.
So it's always, opening new things and working with new clients, entering new market. So it shapes you when you do that, all the time. Because why do I say that? Is because you always have to look at, okay, how am I going to do that now? Because I've not been trained to do that. We are
Mhm.
trained at school, but so it was a constant refinement, of what leadership means. How do I lead myself, in being, the business unit head? How do I lead myself in entering, the Japanese market? How do I lead myself in suddenly work, from automotive to healthcare, which is, 180 degrees
Yeah, yeah.
change. So it was always, how do I lead myself? And I learned that, on there, on being practical, what do I do?
Mhm.
So it's basically, what do I need to refine with, working with the team and with all those, multicultural teams, all around the world. I work with Americans, with Brazilian, with Japanese, with French, of course, because
Uh,
I'm French. So it shapes you in how, you want to be understood, to drive yourself. And that's where it's coming from. The first pillar, actually, from the how to lead yourself.
yeah,
This is
and
the
I
first
was going to
pillar.
ask you about that because it is such an interesting concept, but it's one that a lot of people miss. They don't realize that the first level, I mean, your first pillar of leadership is leading yourself. I don't understand what that means because when people normally go into a leadership position, they think, okay, I'm leading people now and I got to focus on that. But so talk to me a little bit about that concept of leading yourself, because I think that's so profound.
It is, and actually, like you said, it always starts with us. So meaning is like, if I want to lead others first, can I lead myself? What does it mean? Can I lead myself? In when I feel, like the world is changing, when there is uncertainty, when I have a vision? Where am I going? Actually, and if I don't have a vision, where am I going? Why do I do all that? And can I, whatever I want the other one to do I do it for myself? If I want the other one, to be result driven, we are all result driven. We need,
Sure.
to bring result, for all the companies, and so do I do it myself? If I want people to show up on time in the meetings, do I do it? If I want people, to be um authentic. Am I authentic? If I want them, to master communication, am I mastering communication? Do I know how to communicate with the team?
Hmm.
If I don't know how to do that, I'm not going to ask the other one to do it. The
Yeah.
team is not going to do it. It's like with children, actually. I
Yeah.
always compare, leadership to
Yeah.
children. Am I able, to lead the,
To model.
my team?
Yeah.
Like
To
parents, when you're parents, you have to show example.
Yeah, yeah, model behavior, and
Leaders.
it's interesting because I mean, you say, and oftentimes I feel sometimes that people when they go into a leadership position, they don't even ask themselves, do I want to be a leader? What makes me want to be a leader? Why do I think I would be a good leader? All of those kind of questions, and as you say, then people take their cues from how you operate. And if you haven't thought about that self-awareness piece about how you operate, then uh, then hey, maybe you're going to model great behavior, but maybe you're not.
Yeah. And for me, like you're saying, is the key word is awareness. And there is an inner awareness and an external awareness. And I always use, the external awareness to show me, what's around me, what people are showing to me, what's the reflection. And can I, transform that within me?
Hmm.
Which is, is going to bring, more refinement. I always work like that. That's why I have this very, eclectic, like you said, background, and because I love, to bring, words together, like, the very mechanical engineer, way of thinking and structuring,
Hmm.
and this more like feminine energy, which is, intuition. We in leaders, we have intuition usually when we are driving, when we are in the shower, when we are not in
Hmm.
front of our desk. We have all this intuition. And how can we bring it all together? And for me, like the first pillar is like, what do people show me? Are they happy with me? If
Yeah.
they are not happy, what do I need to change? It's not about them to change. It's about me. What do I need to change? Not to make them happy, because if they're not
Yeah.
happy, there is something which is wrong in the relationship. But I'm part of the relationship.
Yeah.
So what can I change that is going to change the complete relationship?
Hmm.
So for me, it was always, see what the team is showing to you, what the clients are showing to you, and change it, from inside.
Yeah.
And then it's changed from outside.
Yeah,
It's
and I always
always doing that.
yeah, and I always feel like that. I always feel like those concepts like intuition and those are have become very downplayed, if you like, or out of or people go, no, no, everything is data, everything has to be, material. You have to be able to reach out and touch it. But you can look at your lives and you can see how many times did you make a decision or did you do something, either you went against your intuition and the results weren't great, or you went with your intuition even when people were pointing you in a different direction and it turned out to be correct. So I really think that people need to not downplay that part of their, that yin and yang.
No, definitely. And it happens to any leaders because when we think about it, it's like where this idea came from, where
Mhm.
it's coming from. And usually you have this idea when you go out, to take care of yourself, when you're with the family, and then suddenly the idea is popping up.
Yeah.
My ideas are always coming when I am on the treadmill, when I'm in the shower, I'm driving. Like the ideas are coming like that. So how can we say that I was not thinking about that and now it's coming up? So we might call it the way we want. If we don't want to call it intuition, but for me it is intuition.
Mhm.
It's like channeling as well. And if I'm open to that, let's bring it, and then it's going to change
Yeah.
the way I'm bringing ideas and the change I want to bring in the world.
So what's the second pillar?
So the second pillar is about leading others, and leading others is because I master the first pillar, then I can move to the second one,
Yeah.
which is leading others. So it can be your team or it can be other leaders, because when we said sometimes like it's lonely at the top, we say that for leaders, and what does it
Mhm.
mean? It's like there is few people who want to take the ride up to the mountain, if that's an image, of course, but if we can count on each other as leaders, so how can we, be leading each other? What does it do? Can I do? Can I model that, or what am I doing? Can you model that? So
Mhm.
it's for me, it's like leading others, but leading other is not me in the front and them behind. It's me having a vision and everybody, walking side by side. And
Right.
why can they walk by side by side? because I foster an environment where they can grow, and that's why they are autonomous.
Mm.
So we are working together because I can't do it by myself.
Yeah. And I think the other part too is that that it's becoming harder and harder and more like work is becoming more complicated, it's becoming more specialized. There's so much to know, there's too much to know. Therefore, you as a leader can't possibly know everything. You can't possibly be good at everything. You have to be able to, you have to find the right people, but you have to trust them. When you find the right people, you have to trust them to work autonomously, as you said, and to be able to bring their skill sets to the fore.
Yeah, and you have to as well help them to acquire those skills.
Hmm.
You have to train them or send them, to be trained. That's part of the leadership because, we are very hands-on. But at one point, like you said, if I want, to work on the big vision, I need the team. I need the
Yeah.
team. Actually, I can't go there alone. I can't. So
Hmm.
basically, it's a teamwork. And if I understand that and really embody the fact that I won't make it alone. And what's the point to make it alone at the time?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, what's the point to be there alone?
Yeah,
If
and
it's not,
I guess then also then as long as you have people understand the concept of accountability, right? It's like autonomy with accountability. It's like I will trust you to do your job and to do whatever, but then you have to be accountable for the output.
yeah. And if you don't do your job, I'm going to tell you as well.
Yeah,
Because that's, we are, it's not, the nice, game of everybody's happy, everybody's nice. It can be. But if it's not the case, I'm going to tell you because at the end of the day, I need you. So if you are not up to the task, let me know, and maybe you are better at another task.
yeah,
In my life, how many times I said to people, if you are not suited to this position, it's okay because it means there is something better for you,
yeah, yeah.
and let's find that this better position for you. And each time I did that, it was better for them, the new position, and someone new could come in, and who was willing, to go the extra mile with us, with the team.
Yeah, and I think that's always a really important point because I know people when it means like moving people out, somebody out of a position or if you have to let them go or whatever, that people avoid that because obviously it's a very emotional thing to do and
Yes.
everything. However, I always think exactly what you say is when you reorient your thinking and you go, if this person is not working out in this position, if they're failing in this position, is it am I doing them any favors by letting them continue to fail, or am I better off helping them go find something else? I had a really interesting experience, Valerie, one time about somebody I had to let go from an organization, and they were very angry about it, and very bitter towards me. And then literally, I, it's got to be like 10 years later, on LinkedIn, they posted this thing on LinkedIn and thanked me and actually said, I was very angry and bitter towards you at the time. However, you were absolutely correct. I needed to do that. I needed to go and sort some things out and whatever. And now I've developed and I'm thriving. And it was just, I mean, 10 years later.
Yeah, I know. And it's always, it's the best thing that happened to me actually, to lose my job or to be,
Yeah,
I don't like to fire people because
sure.
it's not firing in order to fire, it's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
like that. It means to let go because I know, and I always said to my team members, is if I can help you, I will
Mhm.
help you to find a better position. I'll do anything I can, because there is something better waiting for you where you will, have more joy, be more fulfilled. And if you are fulfilled, your family is fulfilled.
Yeah.
So it's a ripple effect that we have to think about.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah. And
so
what's the
it's about,
third
yeah.
pillar?
So the third pillar is about e-mastery. So why do I say e-mastery? Is like because it's emotional
Mhm.
mastery, but it's
Right.
not only that. It's excellence mastery, it's expansion mastery. It's all the E. So the first one, we always say that we have to work on our emotion, but it's not only about that. It's no, we need to know how to work on the emotions. Like I was actually with a team. I was coaching a team like today and yesterday, and we spoke about emotions. And I said, there is two ways that you have to deal with your emotion. when they are rising up while you are talking with someone. So what do you do when it's happening? And then later on, you have to find a process in order, to process actually the emotion, not to let grow up. So I said you have to be aware enough that the emotion is coming up, that you are getting triggered. And if you are getting triggered, sometimes it's better that we should end the conversation right now. Like I'm going
Mm,
to say, like, John, okay, I think we have to end this conversation right now. And can we have it, later on?
mhm,
Or I feel the emotion is coming up, and I say, okay, it's not about John telling me something, that it's not about him that is doing something to me. It's just that something is triggering me, but it's nothing to do with you. Actually, most of the time,
yeah.
it's nothing to do with you. So can I put it on the side for a moment and not, lash out at you or at the team or to anyone, and say, okay, I'm not going to deal with you emotion right now, but okay, I'm putting you on the side, and then later on I have to deal with it.
Mm,
But to be aware enough, that it's coming up. I know it's coming up, but I don't have to take it out right now. But it
mm,
doesn't mean I don't process it later on, which is
yeah.
very important. Actually, I said to that team, I said, okay, you need to find a way to process your emotion. Go run, go breathe, go do yoga, go meditate, whatever is your jam. To get process.
Yeah, and it's an interesting thing, isn't it? Because I mean, they say, I mean, the emotion is a very short thing, like it's a couple of seconds. It's the
Yes.
reaction that actually is has the longevity.
Yes. Is the mind telling the story about the emotion? So the
Mhm,
emotion like we said, is going to go quickly, like a few
mhm,
seconds actually.
yeah.
But the mind is saying, oh, one more time, what is happening? It's about my words. I'm not good enough. Oh, I shouldn't have hired this person.
Mhm,
Of course, I explained that 3 times. He still doesn't know how to do it. Okay, but maybe what did I do wrong? Why does he
mhm,
know? Does it doesn't he know how to do it?
yeah.
What role do I play into that?
Yeah, and our bodies, like physiologically and physically, like I mean, there's a reaction. Like we know when things and triggers. I mean, I think triggers are fascinating too, because if we spend a little time, sometimes we can identify where those are coming from, and we
Yes.
can mitigate them.
Yeah, and actually, for me, it's a must do. We have to learn where our triggers. It's not always easy, and don't get me wrong,
Mhm.
because sometimes it's trauma, sometimes it's hard things that happen in our life. Not saying it's easy, but I had a very long path about healing myself, about those traumatic experiences,
Sure.
and we have to find a way to do that on the side, because the more we do that, the more we train our body that it's safe, it's okay. It's not about it's not they are not taking that to you personally. It's not personal,
Mhm.
but you have to train your body, your nervous system. This is part of emotional mastery, actually.
Yeah.
What do you do to release your nervous system? If you have to find the techniques, which is the good one, the one who suits you, actually. Everybody is different. We need to find our own. But it's so
Mhm.
important, because otherwise the nervous system, is building up.
Yeah, yeah.
You can't take it anymore.
It's into exactly. And then the fourth one.
So the first one is about soul care. Soul care is how do I take care of myself? Like how can I enjoy, life? What I say, usually about leadership is like we are trying to build a better place, a better world, to make things better, easier. So I need to enjoy that as well. What's the point, to only build if I don't enjoy it? So
Mhm.
how can I find time? The right balance is harmony, actually. It's not a 50-50. It's never
Right.
50-50.
Yeah. Yeah.
The right harmony between my personal life and my vision and what I want to do in my leadership position. And sometimes it's going to be 20-80. And sometimes I can go on vacation, but usually when we are on vacation, we still have the eyes on emails and
Sure.
on
Sure.
on phone calls. You have to. So it's never 50-50. It's more like usually
Yeah.
20-80,
Yeah.
70-30. But you
Well,
have
I think that's such an important point that you made there, because oftentimes people will go for these absolutes. It's like, oh, if you go on vacation, you have to completely detach and whatever. And as you said, it's not, that's just not realistic. It's more
nice.
about, and it is, isn't it everything in life, Valerie? It's all about balance, and so you can't swing the pendulum from one extreme to the other. You can't be like full on 100% at work and then suddenly full off.
You will burn out actually when you full on anything,
Yeah.
or burn down when you
Yeah,
are
yeah,
not
but
doing it. Yeah.
exactly, exactly. And that idea, I mean, I guess, and the idea of soul care, self care, and that is, you know, we also have to redefine, you know, what success and all of that looks like, because, you know, sometimes here, I mean, you know, when I first came to America and started coming corporate America, like, it celebrates stress. The more
Yeah.
stressed you are, the more, you know, it seems like that's a badge of honor, if you like. And we have to
Yeah, but
sort of say, okay, is that really a badge of honor?
not anymore. And I think the new generation is going to bring that, in a different perspective. I really
Mhm.
feel that the Gen Z is going to bring something new about, it's not about being stressed out. It's not to be, burnt out. And you won't get any badge of honor being, stressed out or burnt out. Not anymore. I think the world is going to change about that. And it's good that we are changing about that.
Mhm.
But I will be more efficient at work if I take time down as well, go to sleep. I
Mhm.
remember when I was in the US, actually, that was night. I wouldn't sleep because I was so much, in thinking about everything was happening, the day
Yeah,
after, it was so stressed out. It went perfect. I mean, I think everything went perfect, but it was so much stress. And I said, you know what? Valerie, you need to take care of yourself because nobody is going to take care of
yeah,
you. You
yeah,
have to do it for yourself, actually, and not, not drinking. And I'm not blaming anyone who is drinking. Everybody can do whatever they want, but
yeah, yeah.
but more with something healthy. Healthy habits. Which is, for me it was, yoga and meditation, and as well the treadmill. Treadmill is perfect for me because I can burn. All
Yeah, yeah.
times, yeah.
Yeah,
So
no,
it's
I think that's always important. I think it's important to find something that allows you to zone out for a while. Like for me, it's martial arts because it's good because you can't really think about anything else when you're doing martial arts,
yeah.
and it's great because literally you can't. I mean, that's why I always think when people say, "Oh, you know, I do some. This is my thing I do, but it allows me think a lot." I'm always going, "Okay, maybe that's not. Maybe you also need something that allows you to
Yeah.
not think."
Yes, because that's another part, which is about soul care, is always contemplation.
Mm,
You need time out, with, which is not about, like you said, not thinking, but you
mhm.
need time to think as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And that's
absolutely.
not always in the meetings that we're thinking.
Mhm.
And me, I always find time during the weekend where there is nobody. So the phone is out. Don't call me. Don't ask me what I'm doing because I'm just here, like, recharging actually, and
Mhm.
recharging and contemplating, about, everything. And then it makes the next week easier.
Yeah.
Definitely, because I took this time. And it's not always easy, with family to say that, okay, I'm going to have 2 hours alone here. Oh, you don't want to see us? No, it's not about that. I'm going to be a better partner if I'm taking those 2 hours, or maybe an hour,
Yeah.
or anything that we need. I'm going to be a better partner when we will go out for our date, or when will we go out for dinner, because
Yeah.
I will be more present and not, on my phone trying, to
Yeah.
to catch up on the emails.
Exactly.
I think so. So that's it's a real conversation with everybody, the team, but as well your family members and your partner and your friends as well. It's
Yeah.
all that, soul care.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. It all impacts. Well, listen, Valerie, this has been fantastic. All of Valerie's information is going to be below this video. But before we go, please do tell people a little bit more about what you do.
Yeah. So I work actually with CEO and visionary leaders. And what I do is like I bring ideas in order for them to lead even, um, not better, because I wouldn't say that, to lead their mission even further,
Hmm.
and to bring a movement, because at the end, that's what it is. Leadership, it's a movement.
Yeah.
It's a movement. So how can have someone in your corner? I'm always the one in the corner, the one in the corner who is here to support. Don't they don't need me, but
Hmm.
it's a space where, okay, we are going, to foster ideas. I'm going to see something that nobody can see, because the point with leader, there is few people who can see what they are going through.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
want
That's
to be
very
this
true.
one, for leaders, because I see that, because I am in that and I've been there. So
Yeah.
that's what I do. I foster this environment so we can, bring ideas together. And I have a lot of ideas, always in my head, and then to be the one who can still see what's going on with them.
Yeah,
That's what I do,
absolutely.
and I love it. I love this.
Yeah, well, it comes across. Anyway, like I said, all of Valerie's information will be below this video. So thanks again, Valerie. Thank you for
Thank you.
watching and listening. I'll see you all again very soon. Thank you.